This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick, and I'm joined by Kevin through the power of the internet. That is not trademarked by Boogie. I could say it too. Don't fight me. Yeah. Well, we're giving you the gaming news like we do every single week. We try to give you everything that's important in gaming and tell you why it's important, because sometimes you don't know why things are important until someone tells you, and then you gotta man up or woman up.
And some of these things. Shut up. Some of these things might have slipped past your notice, and so there's something about Rainbow Six Siege and automatic bans, so stay tuned for that.
We'll talk about it. Up first, as we do always, we're talking about backwards compatible games, and Dante's Inferno is backwards compatible. I really liked this game. When this came out, everyone was saying, oh, this is a God of War ripoff. Yeah, it is. But you know what? So is Sonic and Sonic All-Stars Racing, and that game is awesome. This game is awesome too, but don't play it with your kids, because there's lots of nudity and weird things that happen. So yeah, don't play with your kids, because you are Dante going through the levels of hell.
And I mean, if that didn't tip you off, I mean,
I don't know. Some people, some people I guess didn't know. I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. I guess some people didn't understand that hell is a bad place, and they were just like, oh, it's gonna have fire. No. Yeah. It's a lot more than hell. More than fire.
The other game that we have is RUSE, or Ruse. Do you know about this one, or am I making it up on the spot?
I have no idea about it, so let's go ahead and make it up while we're watching it.
So this is Russian ukulele symphony extravaganza. It's a game where because the ukulele is not something that you typically associate with Russian music, and so what you're trying to do is you're trying to build the popularity of the ukulele as you go through, and like you come up against like the first one that you're taking on is the trombone, like that's stage one.
Sure, and that's an easy pushover, right? Yeah.
Right. So you're able to get over the trombone pretty easily, and then eventually you get up to a choir is the final stage, and you have to prove to the Pope, who's made this special visit to Russia, that the ukulele should be the official church instrument.
Interesting. So it was the final boss. Yeah.
Yes, it was actually banned everywhere but Russia because of the sacrilegious elements of it. So yeah, Russian ukulele symphony extravaganza.
It's a wonderful
not
game
a real game.
That does not exist. Yes. A game that does exist though is Enter the Gungeon, which you enjoyed.
I enjoyed it very much. Twin stick shooters are just my thing. Ever since Binding of Isaac, it's been really fun to watch what's come out. And did you play any of this?
I did not.
Okay, but you know about that everything is bullets and guns and everything.
Yes.
And like you're fighting bullets shooting guns that might also shoot guns that shoot bullets.
Yeah. And
like everything is guns and bullet themed, and it's really entertaining. And like you can knock tables over and hide behind them, and it's bullet hell, 3D, like quasi 3D, but it is a really fantastic, fun, very very silly game. And Gungeons and Dragons, spelled G-U-N-S, patch is something that's coming free to everybody that has this game, and I'm really excited about it. I haven't gotten a chance to play it this week, but I actually don't remember when it was going live. I've seen a couple of streams of it, so it might be live now, or that might be advanced copies. We did not get advanced on the patch, but hopefully within the next couple of weeks I'll check that out for you guys and let you know. But this is another example. This is something that the smaller studios do way more often than the bigger ones, but this is basically the size of an expansion. It's about half again the number of items that were in the original edition. Okay. And so I'm really excited to see, like, I'm really excited to see the references because they had like the one of my favorite items that I picked up like on my second run ever playing this game was the Necronomicon. And obvious
cool.
reference to Evil Dead. And it was just really fantastic, all the different things that were in there. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what D&D references they can mix with dragons and guns.
Oh, sure.
So that
I'm
should
sure
be fun.
and you're also looking forward to Hollow Knight.
Yes,
because you enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it because it's really bloody hard. But yeah, this is another example of a small studio giving a free expansion. I think this really started with Yacht Club Games when Shovel Knight came out, and they just kept putting out patches and other versions and releases and things. So August 23rd, the Gods and Glory DLC is coming out for Hollow Knight, and it's going to be some more bosses, some more maps, some more area to explore, and I don't know if it's something that's going to throw up in the middle of the game, or if it's something that's after you beat the final boss. Because I'm trying to avoid spoilers right now.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm all about more Hollow Knight. And if you haven't played that yet, I highly suggest it.
I'm liking all the DLC that's coming out. I mean, this is free DLC that's great. I'm liking good content DLC that's actually coming out. Because a lot of times we talk about DLC and microtransactions is a bad thing. This time it's a good thing. It's also a good thing when it comes to South Park Fractured But Whole, because I think it's the third DLC for Fractured But Whole is coming out, because we had Dusk and Casa Bonita, which is a Dusk Till Dawn reference, and then the Damien Return, which I believe is this one here, or Damien Returns. I haven't played those, and now I really want to play the Casa Bonita one and eat more Mexican food. I can't wait. I mean, I just love South Park, so
and the way that we got this information was actually from a finance report, and tucked in like way down at the bottom was like, oh yeah, and Stick of Truth's coming out to Switch. And so we don't have a release date for that yet. That wasn't an official announcement. That was just, oh yeah, and this is something else that our investors need to know is coming. So all we have is the fiscal quarter. So in theory, it should be coming out before October, which is really not that long. So
not too bad.
I'm looking forward to that.
Lots of games coming out, and actually good stuff coming out too. Speaking and good games getting things corrected, we'll say. Shadow of War is now officially having all of the microtransactions removed, which we talked about before. They were talking about removing certain microtransactions. Now they just removed all of it, which makes sense because the game was built without microtransactions. These were shoehorned in. I believe it was like 5 or 6 months prior to release. They were told by Warner, you have to have microtransactions, and they put that in to make sure that it wasn't game breaking, and because it doesn't break the game balance, it's fine removing it. So I'm really glad it's being removed. There's really no reason for it in this one.
And I think it took a lot of the fun out of discovering new enemies, because when you're going through the game, the way that you typically pick up these guys, because you're getting something that you would get through playing the game anyway. And what it is like you come up against them and they're like, hey, I'm gonna kill you, and you're like, no, I'm gonna kill you. And then you kill them, or they kill you, or whatever, and you develop your own story with them. And so in the microtransaction version, basically you open a chest and suddenly this dude's on your side who may or may not be interesting, but you don't have. Okay, I may not have developed personal relationships with all of the orcs, but like they were ones that I recognized, and they were unique to my game, and I had my own story with each of them, and so I enjoyed that.
I think it ruins the immersion when you're just opening up chests and you get an orc. It doesn't make any sense. I never played a D&D campaign where I opened up a chest and a person was inside who is then joining the party. How does that work?
I have opened chests and then it attacked me. I mean, that's happened to everybody, right?
Mimics are real. That's still one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite jokes. It was the what was it? It was the guy walks into a bar with a giant sword. The bartender asks, "What's the sword for?" The guy says it's for mimics. Bartender laughs. I laugh. The table laughs. killed the table.
Had a great time.
It's so great. It's so great.
Yeah. I like that one a lot.
Speaking of great, I love Nathan Fillion, and I don't think anyone with a heart doesn't.
Everybody
love
likes
Nathan
Nathan Fillion.
So I was really glad that he was involved in an Uncharted fan film that came out, which is perfect because he is, if you're not going to get Nolan North to be Nathan Drake, I think this is probably as close as you're going to get. So I thought that was really cool that he was involved in this. I don't know what the full story is on the lead up to it. But it's really cool seeing actors have sense of humor and being involved in this fan film that obviously he did not get paid for. They can't get money for,
right?
Because if they did, be breaking the law. But yeah, I think it's really cool. I would love to see him as Nathan Drake if that ever happens. Except Tom Holland is apparently involved in it instead. And
okay,
I don't know.
So here's what I would like to see. I would like to see the two of them play the older and younger versions, and then they could kind of do what they did in spoilers for Uncharted 3 or 2.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
3 or 4.
I think it was 3. But there was some time travel in that one, so you get to play a younger version of Nathan Drake, and I would be fine with them kind of going back and forth in time and having like this overarching quest that he's been on, for his entire life. Kind of have him discover it, like in the Indiana Jones. Which one was the one where River Phoenix played the younger version?
I believe that was the.
I think that's Last Crusade.
It was Last Crusade, I think. I'll have a look. Yeah.
And so you've got, just extend that or intercut it with the other one, and then they could both play. Also, if you haven't seen it, my favorite part of this short film, which is about 15 minutes and highly recommend it. Everybody loved it. My favorite part is he jumps out of a window, and then like as he stands up, the camera pans around behind him, and then he pulls his gun out, and it's like basically in the view that we would get from a third-person shooter or an Uncharted game. And then IGN took that section and like threw up a HUD and like QuickTime prompts. Did you see that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And both Amy Hennig and Druckerman both expressed delight and excitement over this. Obviously, they're not the ones who are in charge of it, but it was really cool to see recognition from people who have poured a lot of their time and energy into something, and then to see the fan love, and it's a mutual thing that this is something we all enjoy together.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, unrelated, because he was apparently too busy to be Cade 6 in the new Destiny 2.
I thought Cade 6 died.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I can't honestly keep up with it, and I got so bored with the game. But yeah, so Cade 6 is going to then be voiced by a Nolan North. So
because there's nobody else who does voices in video games than Troy Baker and Nolan North and Nathan Fillion.
I think those are the only three. Yeah.
They tried to bring in Peter Dinklage, and then they kicked him out for not being one of those three people.
Complete failure. Well, that's because he said he had probably the worst delivery that I've heard outside of like a fan or college project.
It was pretty bad.
It's not his forte. Love the guy, but it's not his forte. I think he needs people around him. I think he needs them to interact with him. That way he can build. Because he is a stage actor. He's a stage actor, and when he was put in that situation, it sounded hollow. No pun intended to Hollow Knight, but like that wizard is from the moon. So, like really, like that should be an amazing line. And it was just... Yeah.
And they didn't change the dialogue.
Nope.
And he is a fantastic actor. Mm-hmm. I mean, one of my favorite things he ever did was, what was it, Penelope? Where he's the detective?
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, it's great.
I want to see it. That's the one with Christina Ricci, right?
Yeah.
It
is a really, really good movie. Recommend it.
Need to see that.
Yeah.
Also recommended pretty much all Lego games.
Basically,
the Incredibles one, unfortunately, is a little meh. It's still fun. I just don't think it was worth the full price. But the Lego DC Villains game is coming out, which I'm excited about because I think this is a world that actually lends itself well to Lego. Definitely. I think that Incredibles didn't have enough in there. Even with Incredibles 2, with all the additional villains slash heroes. It did not have the depth enough that DC has. The amount of villains, as well as the personas and the lore that they can dig into, is going to be great.
Yeah, and so like whenever I'm playing like Jurassic Park or Indiana Jones, those ones that were just a few movies, mostly centered on like one or two people.
Sure.
And there's not a lot behind that. They, you can unlock the guy that was in scene 24 in the corner, but like DC, Marvel, and Star Wars, I think, are the best examples of just this massive range of cast, and you feel excited when you unlock one of your favorites, like Nub Nub, or how do you pronounce that? Lando's co-pilot.
Oh yeah, Nub Nub, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
My apologies to any of those people that are watching. But yeah, like they're like them and like IG-88 and Bosk and like all these characters that I don't even know how I know who those are.
Nyan
I know who they are.
Nyan.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Bosk or there's all these characters that it's like they never said their name in the movies, but we know their names.
Yeah.
Thanks to books and video games and
comics and what have you. Like it's
awesome.
It was a massive universe, and even though the extended universe was kind of pushed away and rebooted, they maintained the names and the characters in there, and even if the stories I remember about Bosk aren't canon anymore, the character, his name is, and so I get to keep that. And so DC Villains is fantastic. I look forward to kicking the crap out of Superman. Well, Superman. But yeah, that should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to playing this on my birthday, which will be 2 days after this. If you want to get me something, let's go ahead and grab me that.
Pretty awesome. We also got Mega Man coming up. Which I know I was gonna say, I know you're ecstatic about this. I'm sure the girls are really excited about it as well. Coming out August 5th to Cartoon Network. I think it looks pretty good, and in what Mega Man could be, and bringing this kind of 3D-ish look. It's not the cheap 3D animation that they've been putting forth, or at least the shading in this doesn't look as cheap as with like Wonder Pets and a bunch of the other crap.
Yeah, there's a lot of really simple 3D animation that's going out now, and it looks like they're taking a little bit more care with this. Like honestly, back before 9 and 10 came out, Mega Man was, for all intents and purposes, a dead franchise.
Yes. And
so like the 25th anniversary came and went, and they were like, yep. And we were like, but Mega Man
didn't even acknowledge. I mean, it's
they posted a link to a fan project where you could play Mega Man levels with Street Fighter, or Street Fighter levels with Mega Man. Yep. It was bad. It was bad.
It was Mega Man with Street Fighter characters. You could play Ryu, like running through and like they didn't even like it's ridiculous. They could have released some type of product for the anniversary, or I don't know, some what's wrong with me? I'm blanking on the name of it. The Nintendo eShop, the virtual console stuff, like something like a virtual console, like package or something. I mean, but nothing is ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, and I apologize. I misspoke. It was the 20th anniversary. They didn't have anything for, because the 25th anniversary is when we're getting Mega Man 11. And so that's coming up. But once they released 9 and 10, they were like, oh, how about that? There's a really excited fan base for this. And so we're getting this. We got the Mega Man Legacy Collection. We're getting the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, which actually, if you're a fan of that, tune in on Tuesday night. Cass and I are going to do some runs of Mega Man X, and we're probably going to go through the whole game because it doesn't really take that long, and we're both really, really good at it.
Yeah, and you're playing that on PlayStation, right?
Yes.
Nice. That'd be pretty cool. We got some news on Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm for this.
I am for this and against it. Depends on the algorithm. Essentially, they're making sure they're trying to ban people who are modding or cheating via an algorithm to try to
no.
keep. I thought that's what they were doing.
No.
What are they doing?
Okay, so for those of you who are just tuning in, Rainbow Six Siege is actually looking to find and sanction players who are using hate speech. So if they hear you talking over the in-game chat, and you say there was somebody who tweeted at Ubisoft, and this is from the Kotaku story. He says, and I'm gonna censor this, but he says, "F you guys, I just got a ban for saying NIBBA in chat." And it was like, okay, if you're saying NIBBA, he actually said the word, presumably. Sure. Like that's, we know what you're saying, and if the algorithm is cutting off if you use a D or a J or whatever, like clearly this is not okay.
What if you're talking about someone who's like going into like basements and you call them a dirty digger? And they get banned, and I'm like, no, because he won't get out of the basement. I can't find him.
So that's his perspective.
I gotta play devil's advocate here. No, I'm glad they're doing that. I thought they're banning modders. Sorry, because there's a couple of companies who are looking into doing that, banning cheaters and modders. So I was gonna have something else. So I was trying to give some type of devil's advocate. No, if you're purposely dancing around a racial slur or any type of slur like that, then yeah, of course. This is not the place to show your comedic timing. Playing Rainbow Six Siege. You want to do something like that, go create a YouTube video. If you're like, no, look how funny it was with the timing, and I meant this, and it's like, no, you don't. Or
try stand up.
Try stand up. That works perfectly. It's one of my favorite stand up jokes. Had to do with that, and talking about this guy being like banned from a laundromat because he started yelling, "Damn coloreds! You put one colored in with the whites and it ruins everything." And I was like, that's hilarious in context because he's in a laundromat. But if you just yell that in team chat, they're not going to know you're talking about doing laundry and ruining all of your white shirts that now are pink because you put in a red shirt or a red sock in there. It's a hilarious joke banked on that timing. This and TeamSpeak's not a place for that.
Yeah, and one of the so in March they introduced something that like they were started to remove people. They announced this policy well before they actually started to roll it out. And the most recent example is using the algorithm, so it's automatically happening instead of waiting for it to be reported. And
now this is within their TeamSpeak, right? This is within their chat.
Their chat or in the typed version, because Rainbow Six Siege is on PC as well.
Correct.
And so you can get a ban anywhere from 2 hours to life. I don't know how often life has been used, but I would imagine that that's for repeat offenders, things like that. But
or it's something that someone reported and they actually listened to and weighed in on, I would assume.
Yeah.
So you can still have your horrible fun with people in a private chat, with people who
or on choosing Discord or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. With people who are choosing to listen to your hate. So it's not breaking freedom of speech. You can say it, with your friends and be an echo chamber of anti-love.
Horrible people.
Yes. Yes.
And then the last fun thing about this is that they used to have a screen that would pop up on everybody who was playing in that match, who would say, hey, this player has been banned for cheating. And now they're using that to say, hey, this person was using racist or homophobic or whatever type of slurs in the game chat, and they've been removed. And so those who are not using those words or that type of language in chat there's been a positive feedback from people who are like, yes, I didn't want to hear that, and I'm glad that person is not playing with us anymore.
I don't want to hear anything like that, especially playing games like this. What I want to hear from people is information that can help me get to the thing. You know, I don't even care if someone's like being sarcastic or making fun of me or whatever. Like that's all your prerogative. That's fine. You bring in some type of it's specifically, now it's not just curse. It's not curse words. It's specifically like hate speech, right?
As far as I can tell.
Okay, because like if you just drop an F-bomb or whatever,
yeah, if you do that, then you're
on the internet at that point. I think like that's a requirement to be on the internet, or to be in game TeamSpeak at least. Well, I mean, I'm happy about this, like for them to police that, because if they were policing any type of cursing or anything, that would suck. I can't remember if I told you this. My nephew's been had a temporary Xbox ban twice.
Really?
Twice.
For?
They don't say. They say code of conduct. So she pulled up all of his chats. Nothing.
All right.
So what we think is that that people either were irritated by him in Fortnite or whatever, because that's all he plays. Someone was irritated by him on that, or essentially one way or another, someone decided to report him just to report him. Unless he said something derogatory in voice chat, which we can't track, and Microsoft won't tell my sister what it is. So I told her, we'll just she has access to all his chats. Told her just make sure he's not playing unless you're in the room with voice chat, so you can hear what he's saying, what they're saying. It's either that or he got banned because someone reported him for screaming into the microphone as all hell breaks loose. He did that while I was hanging out with him, and just screaming because he was getting shot at and not giving. He gave a little bit of information that would help, and then it stopped. What was it you told her? Screamcasters? What was that? The shoutcasters. Yeah. So apparently he's learning to do that because he just screams into the microphone and it distorts the microphone. Yeah. He's screaming so loud that it distorts the microphone.
So you know who he should watch though?
Who's that?
Is Rooster Teeth's John, I forget his last name, but the Rage Quit series.
Oh, okay.
They basically put him on like super stupid hard games, and then they just yell at the screen as he dies.
He broke his headphones this week.
Really?
From raging. He died.
Yeah.
Took them off and went like that, and he broke them.
Your nephew?
Yes.
All right.
Not healthy. Which I'm hoping to help him with in one way or another, but yeah, he's not coping with situations and communicating. I hope. Yeah.
I've heard stories about the whole, this would make you want to throw your controller or whatever, but like even back in the Nintendo days when you could get a new one for like $20-$25, granted I had less money then, but like I have never thrown a controller. Like
he's thrown controllers, he's broken headphones.
Sensitive and expensive.
Yep.
Like this is the price of a new game.
Yep, that's why he now has like a third-party cheap-ass Xbox controller, because his other controller just doesn't work. I wonder why. When you throw it across the room because you lost, yeah, that's what happens. I've never won in Fortnite. Yeah, I've gotten up to like actually not, I up to like I think 17 or 15 or something like that.
Nice.
I think I only got like 2 kills out of that.
Yeah.
Mostly it was me like avoiding or just trying to gather up, trying to be strategic, right? Because I'm not skilled enough in my play, so I'm like strategic to balance that out. Which obviously someone else who has both beats me. And I die, and I'm like, that was pretty cool. Like if they get me, I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's like screaming and irritated. So we were trading off playing Fortnite, and I'm like, hey, let's play. Once you die, I'll play, and then when I die, you play. So we just kept trading off. And when I die, it's like, oh man, that was crazy. Yeah. That's it. Like, look, he got me. Whatever.
Okay, so I think that Dark Souls has trained us very well for these situations. Because if you've been keeping up with my stream of my first play, my blind playthrough of Dark Souls, most of the time when I die, I'm laughing. Especially if it's going into a new place, is like, you know, I can see the trap that was set up, or, you know, I jump off. I did get mad once when you know, prism stones, you're supposed to be able to throw them off the edge, and if it makes this horrible like crunching noise and there's a scream and everything, and it's like, okay, not jumping off of that, because that indicates a fatal fall. And so I took prism stones and I tossed them off of the edge over at Sen's Fortress, and it lands. I can see where it's landed, doesn't make the horrible screaming noise, and I'm like, okay, there's more level down there. And I jumped and there wasn't.
Ooh.
And I was irritated at that.
I'll give you a pro tip. Are you ready for my pro tip?
Yes.
I've used prism stones once to see what they did.
Really?
Yep.
I use them all the time, and I have fall control.
I rarely use them anyway, or like we'll use them to use
way into the Dark Souls chat. If you're interested in this, go and watch that series. Those are coming up pretty regularly, and I'm ahead of and I'm working to stay ahead of what's being published. But if you want to join me in watching that, and what are you playing and streaming these days?
I was streaming The Surge. I need to go back and redo that. I'm playing The Surge and I'm playing Fallout 4 because I got The Surge on the flash sale, the PSN. Whatever. Actually, it was the 4th of July sale, and I'm playing Fallout because I love Fallout, and I hope that Fallout 76 is great. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time for it. Oh, actually, John and I and a couple other people are probably going back to playing World of Warcraft, so I'm going to try to do that once a week.
Speaking of, there was a bit of news. I actually forgot to read on this, so this information might not be accurate. I will correct it next week if that's the case.
Okay.
But Blizzard was going to a subscription-only model where you don't have to buy the game or expansions and things. It was just like, hey, look, if you just pay us the subscription fee, we'll get you caught up.
That's correct. So they're moving towards that. So right now, if you jump back in, I think it's already started, but if you jump back in, then you have all of the expansions except for like the latest one that's coming out. Like all of that's just ready for you. What?
Legion is the next one, or the last one?
No, Legion came out a couple of years ago, I think. There's another one coming out. So essentially, you get all the way up to, I think it was level 115, 120. I mean, if you pay the subscription, you can play up to level 20 for free, completely for free. So if you just want to try it out.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. I say I enjoy that. I like that concept because I haven't played World of Warcraft since before the Cataclysm. For those of you Warcrafters out there,
Cataclysm is interesting, but I'm curious about the vanilla Warcraft servers too. So I may check that out. But anyways, let us know in the comments what you're speaking of, like rage quitting and stuff. Let us know in the comments what you think about rage quitting and some of your favorite rage quit stories. Well, let's do that for text. Why not? Let's do that for topic of the episode show. So tweet to us or let us know in the comments some of your favorite rage quit stories. If you want to make a video talking about that, we'll even feature it on the show.
There you go.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.